Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bahasham Yahushai, Bahasham Rachak Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace and blessings to the elect, brothers. Alright, this here is Alma 1 from the Great Millstone camp in Trinidad. Coming back to do another lesson. Alright, the name of this lesson will be The Mark of the Beast. Why not the microchip? Alright, question mark at the end of that. The mark of the beast. Why not the microchip? Why not? Why would it be something other than? Okay, according to these various other Israelite groups. Alright, why would it be something other than the microchip? Okay, why? Why is not the microchip? Why you also adamant on it not being the microchip? Why? Alright, this is a video I stumbled upon from the brother Amawan Gabar's page, GMS Awakening 144 bar. It recently went up, probably like what? This day, today itself, today the 27th. Probably went up like an hour or so ago. Hour or so, yeah. That comment was an hour or so ago. You know, so I watch out about 15 minutes in, close to 15 minutes in, and I did finish watch it out, and I pull it back from the top to play this part in the video here, and then I will get some precepts on it. You see, you Jakes, or you don't really know the white man is the devil, or you don't. Yeah, what I go say, right? This is what I go say. Why it is you're just saying cool about being an Israelite alone? Why you want to add to the doctrine? Why you want to add to the doctrine? It's this movie American Gangster where I did watching the world, and this did stick with me from in the world. Which is wickedness them Jake's on in the show, but what I'm showing you is Frank Lucas went to Nicky Buns in the club, and Nicky Buns was watering down his product. So Frank Lucas approached him and said, why are you watering down the product? You could make it good just how it is. You're making more than enough money on how it is. Why the hell you watering down the product to do what? You're making good money just so. And it's the same thing. Why you want to water down the truth or teach a lie? It's good, the doctrine good just how it is. You don't need to do that. You understand? Hopefully you get the analogy. But so why not the microchip? Why is it Christianity? Why is it a philosophy? Why is it Sunday worship? Why is it something else to these other people outside here except the microchip? Other Israelite groups, like I will name names, the IUIC, the HOI, the GOC. Well, I know about the GOCC. But why is not the microchip? What, did you sell out or something? You see, the most I going on show you all that, hey, this white man is the devil. Well, you don't believe the white man is the devil or something? You don't have belief in that? He is the devil the Bible speaks of. Well, anyhow, let me play the video.
So, many economists believe the future will be cash-free. You're already seeing it from everywhere you go, whether it's your baseball game or to your local deli. Now, Sweden is getting there even faster than anyone else. According to a New York Times report, a fifth of the country, doesn't even use ATMs anymore. And 4,000 Swedes, now get this, have microchips implanted in their hands so they can pay for products with just a wave of their hand. Makes the Apple Watch kind of look obsolete. So on top of that, many Swedish companies are asking their employees to get implants to pass through access points and to pay for conveniences. Now the red flags start going up. So for our red flags, we have to turn to legal media analyst Lionel. Lionel, thanks for joining us on this. I know you've got some red flags, and I feel like I'm reading out of the book of Revelation, possibly. So what concerns...
Absolutely. Why she could say that and you can't say that? The book of Revelation located where in the Kibra Negas? Huh? The book of Revelation located where in the Bhagavad Gita? In the Quran? It is located in the Holy Scriptures. What part in the book of Revelation? This is a Edomite. Edomites could come up with the understanding to know something. No, they go and take it. She go and take it. He going and take it. The microchip. But even them and all could see that had to do with the Bible, boy. But all of a sudden, the mark of the beast is not the microchip. And I'm talking to talking about this individual by the name of Adam Abbott, who proud. See, pride. You see, why it's on my mind. And I a man to always talk everything on my mind. I a man I just bite, you know. As a young man, you just rather bite your tongue and learn to practice that. But as defenders of the gospel, and this being our business, we will defend the gospel. And we will defend the gospel and prove that the microchip is the mark of the beast. And it's all over your news stations, all over your everyday life. You understand? It going on. What I mean it all over everyday life. The notion of paying for things without money, then all over your everyday life. And the ultimate form of paying for things without money, without cash, Salakia, without paper, the ultimate form of that is a microchip. Okay? And it so happened that the Bible catch it. The Bible end up hitting the nail on the head and pinpoint it out and say it is the mark of the beast. The Bible did it. The Holy Scriptures. So if the Holy Scriptures did that, then guess what? It have a God outside of this earth's atmosphere watching everything what going on the earth. So you men who teaching false doctrines, you should fear. The Most High is not nothing to play with. He's not nothing to play around with. His word is not anything to play around with. You pick up the word, you pick up something serious, and know what the hell you're doing with the word of the Lord. Play back the video.
Come to you, arise from humans microchipping themselves.
This is the mark of the beast. This is, listen, no, let me tell you something. I mean, I'm no biblical scholar here, but it's amazing the parallels made. Now listen, let's get down to brass tacks. Would you, not you, I wish they'd stop with this. They go, we're going cashless. We've been cashless. Where's this cash? Ever buy a house with cash or a car? We've got this. I don't even have, I got a couple of bucks. We've been cashless. But that's not the issue. One of these days, these kids, I think you call them millennials or something, they're going to take these little tiny RFID, radio frequency identification chips, about the size of a grain of rice. And they're going to be cool, Scotty. Oh, they're going to be waiting in line overnight to get implanted. And they're going to say, look at this. I can go to the drugstore. I can go to a cab. Isn't it great? How cool am I? Look, I've got this little...
Why not the microchip, eh? Articles popping up like popcorn all over the world. With a microchip being instituted in society. Articles popping up all over the world with a microchip being instituted in society. Okay? But all of a sudden, it's not the microchip. get the Bible just now. I'm going to get the Bible. You selling the so-called white man short. You don't believe he's the devil? The devil will do something like that. Trust what I'm telling you. The devil will do something like that. The devil will put a chip in your eye. Most definitely, he will put a chip in you. Alright? The devil will put a chip in you. Now, let me get Daniel. Daniel chapter 7. And verse, I'll start from verse 3, right? It says, I'll start from verse 1. It says, in the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed, and he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, 4 winds, the 4 winds of heaven strove upon the great sea, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one from another. Alright? Jump into verse 17. It says, these great beasts which are 4 kings which shall arise out of the earth. So we understand what the beasts were. Now let me jump back up to the sixth verse, all right, which is the 3rd beast what Daniel see. This is the 3rd beast. Okay, so it says, you have Daniel 7 verse 6. After this I beheld, and lo, another like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast also had 4 heads, and dominion was given to it. That beast was Alexander the Great and the Greek Empire. The 4 generals was Lysimachus, Ptolemy, Cassander, Seleucus. There was war between the Seleucid dynasty and the Ptolemaic dynasty for extensive number of years, could be around what, 200 plus years. Alright, until the time of the Roman Empire. So there is Alexander the Great. The leopard is Alexander the Great. The 4 wings and the 4 heads represents his 4 generals. Alright. Daniel 11 talk about the king of the north and the king of the south. That is Seleucid and Ptolemaic dynasty from the Greek Empire. Now, this right reading right here in verse 6 is the beginning of Edomite rule on the earth. This is the beginning of so-called white people rule on the planet Earth. This is where they took power over the earth. Okay? When you read up a verse before, it speaks about a bear. Alright? That bear is the Persians. The Medes and the Persians. Okay? When you read up a verse before that, it speaks about a lion which had eagle's wings. That is the Babylonian Empire. So the Babylonian, the Medo-Persian, and them was different nations. The Babylonians were Assyrians. The Medo-Persians were Japhetic people and Elamites. And this way reading in verse 6 is so-called white people rule. Okay? Verse 7 it says, after this I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible. This is dealing with Rome, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces much, and stamped the residue with the feet of it, and it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had what? 10 horns. 7 heads and 10 horns. We're reading Revelation, okay? Going on. Now this is dealing with what? The Roman Empire. Now, the teeth is the military. It says it had great iron teeth. That is the vast military that the Roman Empire had. Now, going on to verse 8. Now, the Roman Empire was ruled by who? So-called white people, Edomites. Okay? Verse 8, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn. This right here is dealing about America, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things. That deals with America. Alright? The 3 horns that were plucked up by the roots were the wars where it had in the land of America between the Spanish, the French, and the British. And America conquered them, and they rose into power. Alright? So now, this deals with America. Okay? Why I'm reading that is to get your understanding, so that when you're going to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Alright? So it says, the 6th verse talks about a leopard. What we now read about from 6 to 8 deals with Edomite rule. From verse 6 to 8 deals with so-called white people ruling. And right after the 8th verse is the 9th verse. And that is when Yahweh come to reign. Alright? Because what the scripture say, Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follow it. Alright, so now let me go into the Revelation. The 13th chapter and the first verse, and it says, and I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast. What is the beast? We understand that the beast is not a literal beast. It is what? Kings, rulers, who rule like beasts basically. Rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. Because why? This beast right here deals strictly with Esau. And you're going to see that. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard. The beginning of the Edomite Empire was with the Greek, when I say the Edomite Empire, the Edomite rulership on the planet Earth was with the Greek Empire. Which who was who? Alexander the Greek, or the Great, so-called Great. That is why it speaks about a leopard here being the first thing described, because John talking about the first. This dealing with Esau alone. This beast here dealing with the Edomites strictly. Alright? That is Alexander the Great, what we now read about. The leopard, the Greek Empire. It says, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. Now the feet, when you read Daniel, the 2nd chapter, this is, we're going through this is to prove that the mark of the beast could never be no fucking philosophy. Daniel the 2nd chapter, but let me get Daniel the 7th chapter back, and let me read something here. Yes, no. Yes, no. Daniel chapter 2 and verse Daniel chapter 2. Just bear with me. Daniel chapter 2 verse let's know. Verse 32, it says, This image's head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, and his feet part of iron and part of clay. Because the feet represent what? The end of a thing. Alright, to prove that, let me see when the feet reach. Jump into verse 41. It says, And whereas thou sawest the feet and the toes part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in it of the strength of iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay. And as the toes and the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. And in the days of these kings shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed. Going into the end times, when Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai going and set up his kingdom. Okay? That is why I read in Daniel, the 7th chapter, after he beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancient of days did sit in the days of them kings. So that was the Roman Empire. But then Rome fell and it rose back into power. So now when you read in Revelation, the feet was the feet of a bear, Revelation 13 verse 2, and the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear. The feet represents the end of a thing, and the end of this whole so-called white man system is the Russians. The Russians is that bear. Okay? The scripture say in Isaiah the 19th chapter, the 2nd verse, And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. Now, just bear with me. We will get to the point of the mark of the beast being the microchip just now. I just building the case so that when you get to the point, you get a clear understanding of what the chip or what the mark of the beast is. And it can't be no philosophy, and it cannot be no doctrine the so-called white man bring to you. Alright, so now let me go back in Revelation. Okay, it's the 13th chapter, right? So we understand what the leopard is. That is the beginning. The bear is the end. Okay? And his mouth as the mouth of a lion. That lion represents Great Britain. And the dragon, which was the Roman Empire, gave him his power and his seat and great authority, because this whole beast system rules under the vibration of how Rome was ruling. Okay? The whole beast system that the so-called white man, that is how he does function. He's a man of fucking sin. Just how the dragon, the Roman Empire used to rule, just so they rule. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded unto death, that is Rome, and his deadly wound was healed. And the healing of the deadly wound was when the Renaissance period come into power. And the deadly wound was this. In Revelation the 20th chapter, when you read the first verse, it says, And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit, and a great chain in his hand, which was Yahushai. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound him 1,000 years. So the dragon, the old serpent, the devil and Satan was all culminated into one. and that was the head that was wounded unto death. He was bound for 1,000 years. But did he die? No, he didn't. Because after the 1,000 years is fulfilled, jump into verse 7, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. So the deadly wound was healed when the 1,000 years were expired, and that going into what? From time Rome fell to the Renaissance period. Okay? That is what I'm going into. From the time Rome fell to the Renaissance period. So now let me go back to Revelation, the 13th chapter. See how the deal is with line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. Not read it word for word. This is how we get understanding. Okay? So, jumping back to verse 3, and I saw one of its heads as it were wounded unto death, and his deadly wound was healed. After the 1,000 years, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison. Alright? And all the world wondered after the beast, and that's dealing with what this system what we in here today, everybody following after it. Okay? So now we understand what the beast is. The beast now is NATO and the EU. Alright? Back then it was the whole Roman Empire, and comrades. Alright? The Spanish, the French, the Greeks, the Germania Major, the Germania Minor, alright, the Great Britain, alright, and the Rome. The 7 heads, alright, and the 10 horns. So now we know that Rome fell, now Rome rise back into power. It says so now we know NATO and the EU come back in that same stead that Rome was in. Alright? That dealing with NATO and the EU. And Russia is not a part of NATO, but Russia is the one who is going to end this whole beast system. Russia and America's allies, because America is going to do something to aggravate their allies to end this whole beast system. So now we're dealing with the Edomite rule. Okay? Hey, and all the world what? Wondered after the beast, meaning they had the philosophies of the beast. They was into the beast already. They was done into the beast. That was the mark of the beast. They was done into it. And all the world wondered after the beast. Let me look up the meaning of that word, wondered.
Strong's G 2296, Thaumazo.
Thaumazo. And it means to wonder, to marvel at. To wonder at, to marvel, to be wondered at, to be had in admiration. The world admire this beast system and how it's running. They admire the philosophies of the beast. Alright? They have the beast ways in the mind. They admire it. Like if you admire a rapper, alright, you really admiring him. You just try to be just like how he is. How he just carry about himself, you just try and carry about yourself. So that is the world done indoctrinated about the beast already. So that is not the mark. Okay? Like one point to prove that is not the mark. Alright? Jump into verse to verse 9. It says, if any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Why is that? Because John saw Israelites going into captivity under this Edomite rulership. So that is why he said, that is why the scripture say that. Alright? So we dealing with Esau, right? And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? Now, all of that time in there, we did already have the doctrine of the so-called white man already. When we was in slavery, he started beat we and teach we about his doctrine and his philosophies. And Jake hands down into it right now. Alright? Going to verse 11, it says, And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon, because it's the same Roman Empire. This is America he talking about. The same freaking Roman Empire. You understand? They like to play all innocent and sweet and polite, but there's the devil inside. Verse 12 says, And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, the image, alright, and the image of the beast, and he caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. Come back as the Roman Empire. Come back as the Roman Empire. Okay? I read that over again. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, NATO and the EU, and the come back as the Roman Empire, the first beast before him. And he caused the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast. NATO and the EU, and America is a part of NATO, come back as the Roman Empire, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So now, where we reach now in the prophecy right here now, we reach in the future. Okay? We reach in the future in the prophecy right here now. We reach in the future Esau and his technology. We reach in the future here now where Esau have technology to do such a thing. Which part that happen? Name a place. Hiroshima, Nagasaki, Bosnia, Herzegovina wars. When NATO first dropped as a powerhouse, dropped bombs on Bosnia and Herzegovina. But they also did it in what? Hiroshima, Nagasaki. But the beast didn't form yet in Hiroshima, Nagasaki. The beast formed when NATO dropped, then is when NATO actually dropped them bombs in Bosnia, Herzegovina wars. Can't remember the exact date. I think it's in the 60s somewhere, if I'm mistaken. But that, so we're dealing with technology here right now, ultimately. Got to make them bombs. I read it over, and he doeth great wonders. He doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. So the John see fire coming down. How we do that? How the beast do that? How the beast do that? The beast did that by the freaking bombs, the atomic bombs and the nuclear bombs and the whatever bombs they make, and drop it on different nations. So we're dealing with what? Technology. Okay? To make them bombs, you had to use technology. So let me go on. And he deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword, and did live. The Roman Empire coming back as NATO and the EU. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak, and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Okay? The image of the beast is the Roman Empire coming back as the United States and NATO and the EU, which America is a part of NATO. Alright? They operate just like how the first beast operates. Okay? Now let me reach to the point. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. This is what you call technology. Same technology they use that. Apparently this beast uses technology because they used it to make fire come down from heaven in the sight of men. It's the same beast. And now they're using technology again. Now they're using technology to put a mark in you. This is what you are seeing on news as of right now. This, we'll play the video.
Better chip, and they'll say they have medical records, and you're going to do that to grandma and grandpa in case, God forbid, they have some kind of dementia they're walking off. I mean, after all, we have it in our dogs, right? It's like OnStar for human beings. But here's the catch. One of these days, God forbid, Scotty, you defy, they find you guilty of something. And you go before a court. And they say, we're going to sentence you to prison? No. We're going to turn your chip off. And you don't exist.
You noticing that they're speaking about chips and all of that on the news. It's all over the world right now. Yeah? That is the plan of the beast. That is the plan of the beast, because it's in the scriptures, you fucking dummies. The Bible have it. The Bible cover that this beast, alright, make fire come down from heaven in the sight of men, drop bombs on people using the technology, and again it covered this beast, NATO and the EU, will use their technology to form people, to have them basically with a microchip in their hand or in their forehead. This is why you're seeing these things on the news. The microchip is the mark of the beast. Verse 16 again. And he calls it all. The he is the so-called white man. The elites of the society. Alright? The top ranking elites of the society. Because this is what they want. Because that is what the Most High put it in Satan's head, and Satan put it in their head. And he calls it all, both small and great. So if you're small or if you're great, if you're rich or if you're poor, if you're outside in the free world or if you're bound, if you're in prison, to receive a mark, the word mark come from the Greek word, as we always go through. Charagma, which means a stamp, an imprinted mark. Imprinted. Let me look up the meaning of the word im just now. Because im is a prefix. So it kind of sticking. Ah, gosh, boy. This thing sticking by, oh gosh. I'm looking for like. Alright, IM prefix definition. Proper not opposite of, without, imprint. No. No. I'm getting what I'm looking for it. Imprint. Imprint. To produce a mark, impression, etc. on a surface by pressure, printing or stamping. To imprint a seal or wax on wax. To imprint wax with a seal, to establish firmly, to impress, to stamp. To imprint the details on one's mind, to undergo a process of imprinting. Imprint on dictionary.com, a mark made by pressure, a mark or figure impressed or printed on something, an impression or impressed effect. Basically, to imprint means to make a mark by pressure, by applying pressure. Alright, I was looking for this prefix, but I didn't get it. It says, of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the anti-Messiah. And the badge is that microchip. When you're following Esau, that is a badge to show you're following Esau. The mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous images. See? And that is where as a badge of servitude. You're going away on that to prove you're serving Esau. Alright? We'll go on. It says verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell. Nobody will be able to buy and sell, because that is going to be used for money. That is why everybody running away from money, because they have a plan to use a new thing for money, which is the microchip. It's that simple. That no man might buy or sell, save, which means except he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name, which all culminates into the mark. Because once you take the mark, you accept the name of the beast and the number of his name. Here is wisdom, verse 18. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is Chi Stigma, 600, 6. Alright? Stigma represents something that sticks on you. And what sticks on you is that microchip. Also, the so-called white man vibration is the vibration of the devil. Alright? So, that is why the mark of the beast have to be the microchip. That is why. That is why. Because it is prophecy. Okay? This whole Revelation 13 deals with Esau's fucking power structure. It don't deal with other nation power structure. This is only dealing with the Edomites right here. And apparently the Edomites ruling right now. And apparently they have something that could go in your right hand or your forehead, which is a microchip, which is used for buying and selling. And apparently the Bible pinpoint it as the mark of the beast, and it's not no philosophy. This is the philosophy right here. Revelation 13 verse 3, when it says, and all the world admired the beast. All the world basically look up to the beast so much that they follow the beast already. They accept the beast philosophies. You know? But then it go some people who following the beast, but when that mark come, they say, nah, me ain't taking no mark of that beast, boy. Me ain't taking that chip, boy. That is why when Revelation, the 14th chapter now, go say, and they followed, verse 9, it goes say, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, so it's something he had to receive, something he had to take. You had to receive it. When you was 3 years old, did you receive Christianity? That was forced down your throat. You grew up as a Christian or as a Muslim or as a Moor or whatever the hell you was. But this chip is something you had to go and take. It says, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Okay? Because hey, you go have people outside here who was in the philosophies of Esau. They was doing things unknowingly that the so-called white man presented to them. But when that microchip come, they say they're not taking that microchip. They don't accept the mark of the beast. Alright? Because all are we born and grow up. The scripture say, and shall fall away. All are we fell away. So all of us was in some philosophy one way or another before we came into the truth. But we got people who in the philosophy, when the microchip come, that will say, I'm not taking the chip, and they not accept the mark of the beast, because the chip is the mark of the beast. Alright? And don't put it past the so-called white man, because he's the devil that the Bible speaks of. And as the devil that the Bible speaks of, he will do such an act. Such an act ain't far-fetched from him. But you see, you people don't believe that the so-called white man will do such an act. So you know what? They will hold on to him. And they will say it's a philosophy. It's not a philosophy. It's a freaking actual physical mark going to be put in your right hand or in your forehead. Okay? Don't cease to warn the people. Warn the people. And hey, hopefully with that you've been edified, and I will give all praises to Yahweh Ba'asham Yahushai Bahasham Rakha Kwadash. Shalom.